Excuse me while I whip this out.
God damn, Gary. Some serious gourmet shit. What flavor is this?
That's right, it's the all-hell medium roast private blend. Check out the Geek Grind Coffee Nerdrotic page for our other options like the Decadent, Feathers of Liberty, vanilla-infused flavored coffee. Or if you're looking for something darker, try the Dark Roast FNT blend of the Fellowship. You know what? Just buy all three. GeekGrindCoffee.com. Use discount code Nerdrotic. Huzzah!
Nerdrotic.com.
Awkward silence. Oh, my camera's jacked up.
Oh no! Gary's more yellow than I am.
Oh. Weird.
That is actually so weird.
What happened?
Hello. Welcome to the Nerdrotic Nooner.
The Gary special.
I'll have to.
Happy ending included.
Talk while I think what happened is we record this broadcast for Perry.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't deactivate my camera on OBS. We'll do now, but I'm gonna have to turn my camera off and then
turn it off and turn it on. That's the only fix I got.
So turning the camera off, but I'm still here. Hi everybody. Welcome to the Nerdrotic Nooner. My name is Gary Beekler. Come to you from nerdrotic.com. And I'm just getting over being sick for like 2 weeks. It was just a mild one. I still worked all the way through it. But our good friend Chris, and I just finished watching, most of The Mandalorian. And I was considering talking the entire podcast just like the armorer from The Mandalorian, who has the same cadence for everything she says. Welcome, Chris, from the mighty House Gore.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's fucking annoying, dude.
It's so the show is frustrating because is it the Mandalorian show or is it just the generic Star Wars show?
This point, yeah.
It's just now we've got all this like New Republic, intrigue, which is incredibly boring. Their idea of telling the story of the New Republic is it's like going to the DMV, which is just in that we were talking before we went live. Tim Meadows has like a brief role in this episode, and it's Tim Meadows, and he's very funny, very consistent. He was on SNL for a long time, and I had to just look and go, oh yeah, that's Tim Meadows. But he sort of adds nothing, but it just shows that like the New Republic are incredibly incompetent. It's boring, and it's like a visit to the DMV.
Yeah,
that's every time they go there.
Very good description, and we'll get into it. So I'm gonna have to back out and come back in. So X-Ray Girl, please talk about yourself for a minute. I'll be right back, folks.
Cool.
That's easy. Okay, so I'll do this for Gary just because I know he'll want to.
What is it?
Hello, I'm X-Ray Girl.
That's not a gong.
I know it's a baby gong. The best I can do is this, where I change the voice changer.
That sounds pretty good, actually.
Yeah, the voice changer is amazing. And okay, there we go. So, anyways, hi. He's back. Perfect timing. Thank you.
Sweet.
You couldn't fill that much time talking
No, I
about
was showing
yourself.
my gong to the chat
Your
and
gong?
to
Oh, your
Chris
gong.
Gore.
Okay.
My gong. Oh my
Your
God.
gong?
My gong. My gong.
Long duck gong. That's where that gong comes from, by the way. 16 candles, my sound effect.
Oh, really?
Every time he comes on the screen, they hit a gong.
Oh my God.
I love the 80s. Dong.
Can't do
You haven't
that
seen
now.
16 Candles, X-Ray Girl?
No,
Oh,
I heard I should see it as
Put it
like
on your
a
list.
coming of age
It is.
movie, right?
Yes.
So
Very coming of age when I was coming of age. It was good stuff. Good stuff. Hi.
one day,
Hey,
one day.
I'm back. It's been a great week. It really has. Mrs. Nerdrotic had pointed out that I'm enjoying this Disney Inferno a little bit too much. Yes, guilty as charged. And things just keep happening. Like I just finished a video. I have to add 2 things to the video. Because I did bring him up in the video, and the next day he gets let go, and I didn't even know he was still around. And that's Ike Perlmutter. If you don't know Ike Perlmutter, a little brief. I'm not going to take you to Nerdrotic class because you're all grown-ass adults, and most of you are nerds, and you probably know this anyway. But Ike Perlmutter was the CEO of Marvel when they were sold to Disney. He used to own Marvel with Avi Arad, who's the producer and still produces, and I think is involved somehow with the Spider-Man films, but he owned Toy Biz. Marvel went bankrupt under Ron Perlman, the Ron Perlman who famously wanted to actually bring a Black Panther to Comic-Con. And they're like, you can't do that. So he lost control. Avi Arad and Perlman kind of took over. Perlman, was an immigrant, came to New York, like $250 in his pocket, sold toys on the streets of Brooklyn, and has become this multi-billionaire. He's also a Trump supporter, which is a bit problematic for Disney. So back in 2015, he was still in charge of Marvel Studios, but Kevin Feige clipped him at the knees. Now, he wasn't a board member, but he was the head of the studio, and Kevin Feige was just a producer, kind of like what Victorio Alonso was. He grew frustrated with Perlmutter because Perlmutter just wanted to make money. That's a crazy thought. So in 2015, he usurped the throne from Perlmutter. Remember, this is Kevin Feige, the nice guy. He also, it's Avi Arad's fault too, but he kind of screwed him over to start the MCU as well. Not Ron Perlman. Did I say Ron Perlman? I forgot. It's Perlman. Last name is Perlman or something like that. But that being said, Ike Perlmutter's gone. Ike Perlmutter is now officially gone from Disney. I don't know how much power he had, though. Jeff Loeb was answering to him on the TV side until 2019. I'm going off memory here, by the way. And that was it. So he was still there in some capacity, but I don't know what decisions he made because Kevin Feige was put in charge of everything at Marvel. Kevin Feige oversees everything at Marvel, including the comic books, which are trash right now. So Ike Perlmutter is gone. He's old. He's a billionaire. Probably doesn't care. And it probably had something to do with whatever that board kerfuffle was earlier in the year. But Disney ain't changing. We'll just say that. We'll read the article in a little bit. But Chris, has your mind changed? Then there's Jonathan Majors, which we don't know anything. The charges have not been dropped as far as I know this morning. As far as I know. But the back and forth you're hearing about Victoria Alonso, there's no way she was just fired, dude, for that movie. there's just no, that was part of it, I'm sure, but there's no way they didn't know. I think that's a total bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, I think it doesn't help her case, right?
Right.
Because always in Hollywood, there's sort of the letter of the contract and the spirit of the contract, you know, and it doesn't hurt them to have her involved in, you know, a producer role on that project, Argentina 1985. I'm sure she didn't actually do anything, you know, she didn't do much other than glad hand and, you know, connect the filmmakers, the people who actually made the movie with other people. So it probably was not a huge time suck. But what's interesting is what's come to light, that she wouldn't make certain changes in the special effects for certain countries. So my understanding was at Kuwait, where she wouldn't blur a rainbow pride flag that was on the street in the background of one of the shots, in addition to making other changes as well. So she refused to make those changes, and apparently Disney had to use an outside vendor to get those changes made. I think it's really weird. Your job is to do that thing. You refuse to do the job, and it shows her arrogance. And so I'm not surprised that she was let go. The Argentina 1985 thing was just like it's a bad thing just when you're in a high position like that. If you feel you're above the company rules, then anyone else at the company can just do that. Well, why can't I produce a non-Disney film and have my name on it and go to the Oscars? And also, let me apologize for my voice right now. I'm still under the weather and sick from going a little too hard at WonderCon this weekend. But that's my understanding, is she refused to make certain changes. I'm sure there's a story about it. There was a story. Where did I see? Might have been the reporter.
There is.
Right?
Marvel is a big mess. I kind of go over it in my next video, but we can. It's in the Discord. I can pull it up. There is one insider. There's one insider who's mentioned something about her flying a little too close to the sun. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. But I listen. I think it's a multitude of things. Okay, I just don't think it's Argentina. That seems really inconsistent, seeing that Disney did refuse to cut a couple of things. I forgot what movie it was, but they publicly refused to adhere. I think it was Eternals, where they said, no, we're not going to cut the cake hiss. So like, well, they're going to not do it here and do it here. And you know what? Those things happen all the time. It's like, okay, we're going to try to compromise. We're going to hold our ground on this movie, but like, it's just a rainbow flag in the background. Just blur it out. Right. You know, if Kevin Feige says do it, she's got to do it. That's it. But ultimately, and it gets brought up over and over again, she called out her CEO at a GLAAD meeting during one of the biggest controversies in the company's history. You don't survive that. You just don't. They might take their time to fire you. I know enough about corporate politics because I've worked at enough corporations, major corporations, to know that's exactly how it works. You call out your boss, he ain't going to fire you. It depends on how bad. He or she might fire you right there, or they'll wait. They'll wait a couple, 3 months and find a way to clip you. It's right. Just how corporate politics works. And ultimately, the baseline here is she is a woke activist and always has been, but was probably quiet about it until she was put in a position of power. And when she was put in a position of power, even though she isn't a creative executive, and guess what? Neither is Kevin Feige, but they hire all the creatives. They are heavily involved in hiring those creatives who are pushing this garbage and have gone far away of what Marvel was supposed to be. Which is entertainment, not infotainment, not a platform. These are superhero movies. And ultimately, the MCU is 3 characters. It's 3 characters. I'm not counting Spider-Man either because they don't own them. But it's Iron Man, it's Cap, and it's Thor. Can't even count Hulk anymore. And without those 3, it doesn't exist. So we've talked about it, Chris. Killing Tony Stark was, like, creatively, that's the dumbest decision you can make. It's
true.
And Cap. And then not only killing Cap, have him go against his entire ideals. Like he just F's off the rest of his life to be with the girl and completely ignores like major events he could have stopped. Like Captain America wouldn't do that. Freaking morons.
It's weird. They could have recast or rebooted the Marvel universe or gone back and maybe had a timeline that, you know, they sort of go back to the 60s and you do X-Men and Fantastic Four as period pieces, which I think would be great. You know,
you would have to bring the only way that works, you bring in a real screenwriter and a real director and somebody who knows the comics, and they just won't do that.
True.
They're beyond doing that right now. Because the Fantastic Four is a very difficult thing to adapt. So you would have to bring somebody in who, I don't know, a John Byrne or something like that as a consultant, and they would never work with John Byrne ever. I just can't see it coming. Look at that big old Home Depot ad on top there. There it goes. All right. So Marvel's big mess, Victoria Alonso, Alonso's contentious exit presents a rare public drama for the studio. Oh, it's going to get worse. They have one thing after another showing up in the news. It's like, go a couple days. I need to touch some grass, Disney Marvel. Okay. But let me see if I can find this quote. Not Sundance. There it goes. Plenty of people. Okay. Regardless of any possible mitigating circumstances, the veteran producer sees Disney's decision in this veteran producer sees Disney's decision in a cut and dry terms. Plenty of people in the business believe they are indispensable and fly too close to the sun, and then are shocked when they find out they are no longer in the job. So this producer says they added that while Alonso's track record is certainly extraordinary and impressive, she's earned the right to be outspoken. I don't think anybody has earned the right to breach their contract. Well, part of, I mean, what contracts used to say is you can only be so outspoken, especially about the company, especially about your CEO. I mean, I had to sign that for Tesla. I couldn't go out and like talk shit about Elon Musk all day and expect to keep a job. Alonso's messy exit would be bad enough for Marvel, but it comes amid fierce headwinds from all directions. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania will, with global grosses limping to the $500 million mark, is unlikely to break even in its theatrical run, making its first non-pandemic era money loser for the company. Of course, they later on say here that the other pandemic era movies didn't make money, by the way. They admit this, but they're granted amnesty. Where did they say this? I missed it. Where in this article do they mention Shang-Chi? Maybe it's up here a little bit. Because remember, Shang-Chi was a hit.
Control F, maybe?
Yeah, I've got that here. I was just like, I just read the hell out of this article. Now, maybe I've read so many articles in the last day. So, in one of the articles I read, just gonna have to trust me, bro. It's one of the 50 articles I read last night. They mentioned directly that no, it's the Ant-Man 3 article. So you'll see it in my video, but they mentioned directly that they say the same thing. Ant-Man is the first non-pandemic movie to not make money for Disney, but Black Widow and Shang-Chi and the Eternals were all granted amnesty for losing money because of COVID. And well, for Black Widow was day and date, which you give them that. It was day and date, and it was during COVID, and it was like really early on in 2021. It was also a shitty movie. But the other two, Shang-Chi was released in early September of that year. Eternals was released 2 months later. I believe it was November 5th. And again, in this article, they directly state that they were granted amnesty for losing money. But they were telling us it was an absolute triumph the whole time, Chris. Shang-Chi, absolute triumph, big hit. Unfortunately, just 1 month and 2 weeks after the release of the Eternals, which was granted amnesty for losing money because of COVID, Spider-Man No Way Home came out and made $1 billion. So they're so full of shit. They're starting to ask questions, though. You know, they're starting to bring articles like this, and starting to ask questions about 6 years too late, or 5 years too late. But we're 5 years past Infinity War. 5 years past the last really good Marvel movie that wasn't made by Sony. It's a long time, Chris. I don't think they can turn the ship around. I think they're going to have a big problem. This is just a recap of but here's they bring up the Gladmaning as well. Adding to the acrimony is Alonso's contention that she was silenced after a speech at the 2022 GLAAD Awards, in which the executive, who is openly gay, called out Disney then CEO Bob Chapek to name for his treatment of Florida's parental rights bill. While Alonso did sit for several interviews in the months following her speech, she didn't appear to have to do any press for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, the studio's first major award season contender since the original Black Panther, outside of the film's red carpet premiere, where she briefly spoke with Variety and other outlets. The prevailing theme of the press Alonso has done recently in her passionate belief in broadening representation at Marvel, which makes her acrimonious departure from Disney that much more notable. She's arguably the film's industry's most prominent Latinx, you bigots. And she's also gay. They point that out, making a point of aligning herself with organizations at the intersection of the communities she represents, such as Reframe, the initiative founded and led by Women in Film and the Sundance Institute to promote diversity on film sets and in executive suites. Where is the organization, Chris, for representation in sewage treatment?
That's the thing. It's so funny. It's only these glamorous positions where diversity matters. Nobody cares about more women working in the CIA, or more women working in sewage, or more women working as
construction,
plumbing,
mechanics.
Firemen. By the way, you can look
Oil.
up the statistics for firemen. It's less than, I think it's 5% are women. Why aren't there more women firemen or fire?
They always, you know what? In San Francisco, they always manage to find a woman fire chief with that 3% women fire.
Really?
It's ridiculous. Or by the way, how about straight
the more they
men
can't work.
Yeah.
What about
can't actually fight a fire?
What about straight white men doing hair and makeup on Hollywood sets? In my experience, it has been exclusively women and gay men who do makeup, hair and makeup on the sets of TV shows and movies. That is just, it's certain jobs attract certain types of people. And you know what? There is nothing wrong with that. And quite frankly, the gay makeup artist who worked on me when I did stuff at G4 was the best, and I trusted him above all. I just did. I thought
because it was a merit. It was that's what they're interested in.
Yes,
and they become skilled in that field by going to training, being an understudy. I mean, that's how it works in hair and makeup. You get trained by somebody who's really fucking good, and you move on. It's a true meritocracy, because hair and makeup is dudes don't understand. We don't understand. When my wife when her salon was closed down, there was hundreds of women crushed. It was like they all got divorced at once. Some of them
really hard to find a person that's good.
Yeah.
At that.
I mean, you can equate it to losing your drug dealer.
why aren't there more female grips? A grip is a really unsexy job at a film.
What is that?
Right? You're running cable. electrical cable. I don't want Gary to make a joke. Your electrical cable. You're moving stuff. You basically
You're laying pipe.
You're
I was
laying
about to make
pipe.
that joke. Dang
But it's like, you know, you also got to make sure it's serious because you don't want people to trip on it. So you have to lay the electrical in a way that like is not going to cause anyone harm. It's a serious job, and you're moving sandbags all over. You know,
dude, there's dudes
lights are placed.
Building and breaking down sets at like this when I visited the Orville set and saw them build the Orville, and it was 2 stories in that one studio at Fox, the old Fox studios, right? The dudes were like building and breaking up entire sets in a day. It's like, what the fuck? That's crazy. So there's a lot of dangerous stuff around. I didn't see any women. I didn't see. I also worked in the auto industry, and outside of clerical work, in my 15 years, 1 female mechanic.
And that's fine. There's actually nothing wrong with that. So I, you know, it's just so bizarre that we're at this place where that's like still a discussion, but whatever.
You're right. Like, why is it representation in all the cushy jobs?
Yeah, exactly.
Really good, nice jobs.
All the high-paying desk jobs. But yeah, I don't know. Diversity in sanitation. Let's go. Let's make it happen. It just does show how these arguments are so ridiculous, and the conversation is stupid at the end.
Maybe some of them did.
Yeah.
Work on that set. And wait till you see the rest of the series. You won't be knocking those sets.
Oh, dude, I can't wait. I
saw knocking those sets and
I can't wait. Only 4 left.
Only 4 left. Okay, so let's compare it to The Mandalorian, right? So there's 4 episodes left of Picard, and we feel like we've gotten this like really full, like real story with characters in it. Picard season 3, not season 1 and 2. Those shit. Those are shit. Mandalorian feels like it might be just about getting going at the beginning of next episode.
Yeah.
Which is it's only 8, right? It's only 8 episodes.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. It was just announced Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, 8 episodes next season.
Yeah. I don't think that's bad. I think 6 would have been bad. 8, I don't think is bad because of the source material. The only question is, and it's so they'll get a season 3, but like that series was a massive hit, but it's expensive.
Yeah.
So it's really expensive. And I mentioned that in my first review. I'm like, I don't know if this will make it. Like, they just don't have the money, and they like there's cheaper things that are striking right now, you know. But I think it's a good idea. The only question is, because I saw Jane Theory tweet it, and I asked, how are they going to end it? So for those of you without spoiling in the chat, we who have read it, the ending meanders on and on and on and on and on and on and on. So they're going to have to like completely cut out a lot of that, I guess. Because it really goes into like succession and all kinds of stuff. People die. Sorry, spoilers. It's Game of Thrones. People die. People will die.
Cool.
Some quite horribly, quite horribly. But we'll see. Yeah, I think 8's probably good. And they probably want to get it out faster from here on out, because taking those 2-year breaks is just not good for a show. I don't care how big your show is. Mandalorian, like, when did season 2 come out again? It was 2 years ago.
Yeah,
2 years ago, right? Chat. It's been 2 years, and like nothing's happened. So I'm halfway through this episode, and they're talking about saving a village from the pirates.
Yeah.
And they went to the New Republic DMV, like Chris said, and the New Republic, it's like what this show has done to the New Republic is despicable. It's they're fucking dumb. They're almost as dumb as the Mandalorians. Oh God. John Favreau cannot write TV. He just can't, dude.
Just the vision of the New Republic. Do you remember, like, God, when I was a kid first seeing Star Wars, and they have that scene on the Death Star where they're all sitting around the table and talking about the Emperor has wiped away the Senate, and you're like thinking, wait a sec, there's a galactic Senate, there's an Emperor, like you in your mind's eye, like it was such a vast galaxy, and what Star Wars on TV has done, it's made everything small.
Yep.
It's the vision for it is small and mundane. You know, Tim Meadows working an office job where his R2 unit doesn't drop the little key readers in the correct way, and there's a backlog of red tape. You know what the New Republic is? It's working at fucking Disney. That's what it is. There's all this red tape. I don't know if I can get that done. It's got to go through this. Sorry for swearing, Gary. It's a small vision. And the one thing was that George Lucas did, and this is probably by necessity at the time he made the original Star Wars films in the 70s and early 80s, was he couldn't do a lot of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So what he did was he depended on the audience to use their imagination for this vast universe, which was so vast, like it was like endless discovery and adventure. And this thing is just constant. We're going back to Coruscant, and we're doing this, and we're going to the New Republic DMV. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, did we need to see the X-Wing pilot walk up to the building? Like,
right.
Why are like, oh, it's a building in Coruscant. We got it. We've seen Coruscant before. Okay. Yeah. It was like there's so much padding in this.
There's so much padding. It was like Jon Favreau, and you know what? I like Jon Favreau. I think that had he done The Force Awakens, the sequels might have been much more interesting than what we ended up getting. But there's a lot of padding. There's a lot of stuff that's repetitive. And it kind of felt like he was trying to finish his book report on time. That's what this episode felt
like. He's
a
better fit for Marvel. Because, I don't think he can do fantasy and science fiction. It's a totally different beast. And I don't think he can write television. Like he's really good at like dialogue. Quippy dialogue is what he is good at. You know,
right.
Go watch Swingers, or Made. Yeah, I just don't. It's obvious it's not a good fix. We're in this third season of their flagship show, and it's losing everybody. Even the shills are like, I don't know about this, and I just, I cover pop culture. That's why I'm watching. I didn't expect anything good, but it's Kenobi bad. It's pretty
right.
Bad. Yeah,
it is actually.
And nobody's gonna care. Like this is how it ends. It ends with a whimper every single time. People just stop caring. The care. When people were upset, and instead of listening to the Marvel fans, the Disney fans, instead of fucking listening, you heard what you wanted to hear. I was reading many articles last night for my video, and I am just astounded that people get paid to say this really obvious shit, and they're called like media analysts and box office analysts. And you know what they do? They say really like insightful things like people weren't happy with Ant-Man 3.
Yeah.
Really? You get paid to say that. It's like, buy me a cup of coffee. I'll tell you everything. It's like, shit, I'll buy you a cup of coffee. It's amazing, like how many, like you want to talk about a grift job, and then market analysts, they're just paid to tell the companies what they want to hear at this point. I mean, this is where the corporatism is just killing art, because like back in the old days, you had with music or film, you had some cigar chomping guy who didn't understand most of it, but would take a risk. He's all, will it make me money? Okay, I'll try it. Fuck it, No market, no press screenings or anything like that, going by your gut. And a lot of times more times than not, you got something good. Now you're cautious all the time, and you just get muck all the time. Just muck. Frank Zappa's great interview describing that about the music industry is a classic. I put that one in my videos.
Nice.
Long time ago. Disney's in trouble. Market share, they've lost 31% of their company. Of their company.
That's crazy.
They've lost billions. That's why they need to cut 5.5 billion, 3 billion from content. So now you're not surprised why most of Marvel got pushed away for a year. They announced Secret Invasion will be coming out in June. Chris, you excited about that? Captain
Well,
Marvel?
I'm not, but I do know someone who has read all of the scripts.
Did it take him 10 minutes?
And said that the scripts are very good. The scripts are very good. It's someone we both know. So
Okay.
I put in the chat, private chat.
I'm going to be skeptical.
Well, you know, this person also said other things that turned out to be true.
This is true.
So, but they said the scripts are really good. Now, that's not final product. That's not like jumping through hoops. That's not, you know, special effects people with agendas making changes or not making changes. Do you know what I mean? Like the scripts as written apparently are phenomenal, but you know, finished product is different than script.
So it's a show about a guy who lost his eye to a kitty cat.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a spin-off of Captain Marvel, and maybe it fixes the Skrulls. The Skrulls should be one of the best Marvel villains, one that's an incredibly hard foil because they can change their appearance and look like superheroes, and they can certainly, you could have tons of fun with that with the right kind of writer. It'd be like the ultimate and unreliable narrator. Like it would just, you could do it bonkers, but they just can't. They're incapable because they're higher, you know, because of these initiatives, and people won't talk about it. I mean, tons of people in Hollywood are talking about it behind the scenes, folks, but nobody's talking about it in public. This DEI shit is killing creativity. Because it's killing the meritocracy and it's bringing these people in. You can't blame the people for taking a job. If like some big company goes, hello, inexperienced person of color, we're going to give you a big job. You're not going to say no. You're not going to say no to, you know, possibly hundreds of thousands of dollars or tens of thousands of dollars and a chance to get in. But the thing is, once your usefulness has worn out its welcome, which is happening now, you're gone. And then you're kind of crushed. You didn't work your way up through the system like people used to. And that's where you don't discriminate, is the people working their way up through the system. That's where you don't want to discriminate. But by excluding people, you're not, that's not equality. That's not true equality. True equality is still meritocracy, and art is the ultimate meritocracy. Comic books are the ultimate meritocracy. Painting, music, film. You got to know what you're doing. There's a lot of people who don't know what the hell they're doing. And there's a bunch of woke shit too. Bonjour, Red Ranger. Let's read a couple. Oh wait, I wasn't even ready for that. Yeah, Chris, you got so you think you got the con crud?
I 100% got the con crud.
Ooh. Oof.
So it's just, I mean, whatever. I haven't been sick in so long, like actual sick with a cold, that I'm like, I was due. My number came up. I was at the convention, whatever. It's, I'm just, I don't know. You were just sick. It's inconvenient. It sucks, but
It does. Thankfully, I have a job where I can just be sick and still do my job.
Exactly.
Struggle from home. Yep.
Yeah. I was bad though on Midnight's Edge in the morning. Man, it was rough.
I was worried. I was like, man, are you okay?
Yeah. No, it's funny. I just should have done it. My voice was really shot. I should have probably bowed out.
Waffle for 150 shekels says, yesterday I decided to finally watch RRR after Chris recommended it. And oh boy, was it a good movie. The bromance was beautiful. Everything was well made. It's my first Bollywood movie, and I really enjoyed every minute of it. Hail to you all.
Oh, that's great. It's great to hear.
Thanks for the shekels. Dude, John Wick 4, you were right. That was the shit. That was
I told you.
Freaking phenomenal. I can't wait to watch it again.
Although, we're not going to talk spoilers, but I have theories about that ending.
Oh, I don't know if you saw my video, but I did too. I just put it in my video.
Oh, okay, good. Well, I watched FNT. I'm playing catch up on videos.
I put it in my video. What my theory is, it's in the very clearly marked spoiler section at the end.
Oh, good.
Yeah. But
there's so many ways that franchise can go. You could do a Mr. Nobody movie. You could do a Donnie Yen movie. You could do a prequel where John Wick meets his wife. You could do that. You could de-age him, and there's so much you could do. You could show him,
leave it alone,
or you could just leave it alone. It's true. Yeah, those are all bad ideas.
A Donnie Yen, like a hell yeah, a Kane movie. Sign me up. Take my money.
That would be cool.
I watched the shit out of that.
Yeah.
He was brilliant in it. That guy was good in it.
Yeah.
I grew up on Star Trek since I was a kid. I even share a birthday with Bill Shatner himself. Star Trek Picard season 3 so far has lived up to the TNG DS9 Voyager back then. I could not have asked for more. Turning 30 this year. A JRG projects for $20. Excellent. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Boy, I guess we just got to say it again, Chris. It was never gonna fix Star Trek. Alex Kurtzman wasn't going anywhere. He's under contract till 2026. He's got more shows to announce, and those things were already forging ahead before Picard even came out. Strange New Worlds has got a season 2 and 3, and Strange New Worlds is the show, if you want to say that, like, gave Paramount more confidence in Kurtzman. It's Strange New Worlds. That's why it's getting another 2 seasons. Okay. I don't like Strange New Worlds. I think it's shit. But yeah, and there might be another announcement. You never know. But yeah, it was reported that he was pulled off of Picard season 3. That is completely not true. It's completely not true. He fucked off. He didn't care. He just didn't care. He lost interest. It was the final season. Who gives a shit? I'm gonna go. He went off to work on A Man Who Fell to Earth. Robert talked about that multiple times, and that's a fact. He went off and didn't care, and just didn't give a shit. And that's how we magically got this one little gift that is an anomaly, unless they put Terry Matalas in control of everything, which I don't think they're gonna do. And Paramount runs on Sheridan, on Taylor Sheridan. That's what Paramount runs on. And they're still losing money. Paramount's losing money left, like hand over fist. They're losing fucking money, which is incredible. And you know why they're losing money, Chris? You know why? Too much content. Yeah. They're putting out too much shit. They just spammed so much shit. Instead of like, let's just make Yellowstone. Yeah. I mean, like, what drove Netflix? Was it their vast library, or was it back in the day they had Friends, The Office? That's the shit that people watched all the time and still do. A Divergent, well, they're not on Netflix anymore. I think they got Arrested Development back or something. A Divergent Thinker for $20. Typically, what happens is that they don't fire these types, but they eliminate their positions and give a golden parachute. It's really uncommon that she was fired by committee and publicly. More on this will come out. Yeah, she said it will, because she's taking them to court unless they're in negotiations right now to settle, which, that would be in Disney's best interest. Because if she comes out, she's got a memoir coming out, Chris, on a Disney imprint.
Really?
And it's called Possibility is Your Superpower.
Oh my God, that's right. She's got some memoir. Maybe she was kind of planning her
part. I hope she puts an epilogue in. Epilogue. Fuck Disney. God.
Sometimes they put epilogues on the audio version or digital version, but if it's already physically printed, that's a problem. But this is the thing, when you enjoy success, you reach a certain level. That's why I kind of think you've got like this 10-year window to do something, and after that it's going to fall apart, because your distractions become not about the thing that you struggle to do, but about like Kevin Feige thinking about like, we've got this thing and so, and we got to go to this, and we got this house, and should we get a house, and so. And so it's not about struggling to get to a certain level. It's now that you've reached that level, your concerns aren't about getting to a level because you're already there. So now he's like looking at what other homes and investments and this, and he's got to deal with Victoria and like just all the other internal problems, and not like the thing of, shepherding a franchise to further success. There really is like a window of like, this is when it's successful, and the wheels fall off. And they always do. I feel like it's just natural. You know?
Yeah, this is a natural course of events, and many of us have talked about it for years. Like, this is going to burn out anyway. It's
Right.
gonna- but it didn't need to burn out this quick. This could have easily kept going. You could have kept Chris Evans around for another movie, or better yet, take the risk. I think it's way less risky to recast than pass a mantle to a character that was never successful in the source material, and that's Black Falcon, Captain America. They had to bring every time they have with the big dogs. And listen, comic fans, I know they passed the mantle with Green Lantern, they've done it with the Flash, but like, we're talking Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, Wolverine, Captain America, Iron Man. You can't pass the mantle. You can temporarily do it in the comic books because there's hundreds of comic books, hundreds of stories, but it always has to come back to Tony Stark, Steve Rogers, Peter Parker, Bruce Wayne, Clark Kent. Those are your big dogs. That's what drives the entire thing. And it doesn't work without them. End of story. So you recast them. That's all. Just recast Tony Stark.
That's the only way to do it. Recast or a different era. God, you could have gone back and made another Steve Rogers Captain America movie set in World War II. It would have been awesome.
Yeah. Give more context and like, dude, it would just be easy. And that would be a great way to go. Is like, just tell a different Captain America story where he fought the Red Skull another time, like messing up the Red Skull, especially now. I mean, he's a freaking Nazi. Like it'd be the easiest villain, and he's a great villain, and not even introducing Dr. Doom. But we got America Chavez was introduced before Dr. Doom in the MCU. That makes my fucking head hurt.
Oh my God.
God.
And the real Dr. Doom. We've never seen the actual Dr. Doom from the comics. Dr. Doom has been in, oh my God. The way that they portrayed Dr. Doom in the movies, again, it's small. That's what just annoys me. It's the filmmaker using the space outside of the frame and allowing the viewers to use their imagination. So much entertainment is dumb because people don't. I mean, they even have I joke about this. It's like, this is a show I would watch while I'm folding laundry. And by watch, I mean, it's on in the background and I don't care about it, which is a lot of Netflix, to be quite frank. It's a lot of Netflix made a doc series I always cringe. It's like, why does it always have to be a doc series? Can't it just be a 90-minute documentary? Make a documentary that's 90 minutes where you put everything into it. I don't need 6 episodes for a lot of the stuff that they're doing. It's really, they're just filling time. They're trying to get that.
It's minutes. That's why Netflix dominates the Nielsen's, because they pad. Because that's why they have not gone away from the binge model. The reason is so they can have that Nielsen's, but eventually they're going to have to make money. And they're going to have to be episodic about it.
And by the way, I did recently watch the documentary on Netflix about Pornhub, and I'm here to report that it's a very boring documentary.
And didn't some Canadian venture capitalist company just buy Pornhub?
Yeah, it was really all about I was surprised at the number of performers whose work I was familiar with, but
sure. Okay.
Anyways, it was more about just sort of the financial behind the scenes and how they kind of screwed over the performers and CP stuff. And it was a very boring documentary. And by boring, I mean just like mostly talking heads. So it's just people talking and then close-ups of articles.
It's really encouraging though. Seeing more, I'm gonna sound old.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. Seeing more kids start saying, you know what? Porn's bad.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna touch that shit.
Yeah.
Like, hope for the future. Hope for the future. People calling it out. Our friend Brittany calls that out quite a bit. That's good.
It's like that whatever podcast that X-Ray Girl's always talking about. It's they talk about it on there. So there you go.
They do. We're gonna get to Ike Perlmutter in just a second, but yeah, with streaming, it's really watered everything down now, and it's really over. And we're going to lean back because we have another writer strike coming. So we've seen this before. We're going to get a lot more reality shows. And like, I'm not totally there's some I really like Swamp People was one of my favorite shows of all time. I'm really into Skinwalker Ranch. I love some of this shit. I love Ancient Aliens and Graham Hancock series. I hope we get to another series. Like, I can watch that shit all day. I even like Flipping Vegas, which only lasted 2 seasons with that really obnoxious guy, but that was I love that show. So we're gonna get more of those and a lot less scripted. And then maybe that's why House of the Dragon got cut, which is, God, it's insane if you think about it. But oh well, George, maybe you'll have more time to finish your book now because you'll have less spin-off series to worry about. Finish your fucking book, George. It's been over 11 years, dude. Come on. 11 years. It was 11 years ago in 2 or 3 weeks when he announced he finished writing A Dance with Dragons. And it was published in June of 2011. Where were you in 2011, Chris?
Oh my God. Let's see. I was working at G4 and I don't know, doing nerd stuff.
I was working at Technicolor.
Uh-huh.
And during the week, I lived in a room in Burbank with like 7 other people in the house. It was a pretty big house.
Oh my God.
And they were all they all worked in TV and film. We all worked in some like it was like this. And I did the night shift, so I rarely saw anybody. I'd sneak in, sleep during the day, got up, left at 6 p.m. or left at 5:30 to get to work at 6 and work till 6 in the morning. 12-hour shifts.
Wow.
4 days a week. And then on the weekend, I'd go home. I'd go to San Francisco and then, do the comic store stuff on the weekend. I was fucking tired.
Oh, that's some hustle. Oh my God.
I was tired. All that was done. All right. Caboose SC7 for 20 British pounds. Proper money. Hey, Gary, in one of your last streams, you talked about the path to redemption. Do you also believe that works for your Discord? Hi. Why do you look like a grunge singer? My wife just waved and she looks like a grunge singer.
Hi.
She's got like a flannel shirt. Yeah, she looks like going to see Pearl Jam or something.
There you go.
Where was I? Yes, I was talking about. Well, I mean, that's not the reference. I will talk about that in a second. Do you also believe in that? It works for your Discord, the Nerdrotic Discord. I don't really have much to do with that.
That's me.
That's X-Ray Girl. What about people who have been banned there? By the way, looking forward to Picard tomorrow, season 3. Not sure what you got banned for. You got to be pretty hardcore for you to get banned.
Yeah, the Nerdrotic Discord is crazy and it's busy and there's lots of stuff that's going on. And if you stay within the rules, which is not that hard,
there's like 4.
There's spamming is the big one, and fighting with people is the other one. So if you were fighting with a lot of people, it might have.
Yeah, but talk to X-Ray Girl. Okay, so Path to Redemption. Well, it was talked about. That was talked about with in the early days of The Mandalorian. Remember, because Rise of Skywalker came out, and it just destroyed Disney. And if The Mandalorian hadn't come out, it probably would have been Kathleen Kennedy's job. It's just my guess. But The Mandalorian came out during Rise of Skywalker because Disney knew what they were doing. They're like, this is a piece of shit. We need to have something. So they came out together. Remember, same month. They dropped 2 Star Wars, a competing show against a movie, a major movie. And it was well received. It was well received because it was just back to basics, whatever. I thought it was like incredibly average, a live action cartoon. It was fine. Didn't think it like righted any ships. It just recognized this. And a lot of people at the time, including myself, were saying, oh shit, Jon Favreau should have been the one. You should have started Star Wars like this, but maybe with Boba Fett or something.
Right.
Oh, then time went on, things just got worse, but at the time there was a lot of folks talking about a path to redemption, like if they turn the ship around, well, if they legitimately turn it around and it's legitimately good, then you just say you tell the truth. That's all you do. It's so fucking simple. Now, as far as like the path to redemption for Picard is shocking that Picard season 3 was good. I thought I was going to trash it because based on what I saw in the trailers, I was not impressed. It looked like more of the same to me. But as time went on and I saw it, and I will repeat again, I am blocked by Paramount Plus on Twitter. Robert Meyer Burnett was going to go to a screening and he was denied access. He had to go in as a +1. The very same thing would have happened to me. They do not like me. I was not supposed to get a screener. End of story. I was not supposed to get a screener, but it did. If somebody offered it to me, I'm like, sure. You know, if anything, I can get out ahead of some videos. You know, it could save me some time. That was my whole thing. But I saw it and I liked it. I'm not going to lie to you. I would rather shut this fucking channel down than lie to you. Because if we're not being honest, and I said this in my last live stream, then it's just another fucking narrative. No thanks. It's not what I'm here for. I cover pop culture. Sometimes we're not going to agree on stuff. Sometimes we might, but it's okay. That's normal fandom. That's what I'm trying to get back to. I love the debate of Picard season 3 being better than Mandalorian because it kind of reminds me of the old arguments we had about Star Trek and Star Wars, which one is better back in the day.
Oh yeah.
I mean, different context, but it kind of reminded me. I'm like, I remember those arguments. Those are fun. Those are good times, you know. And we'd have some knockdown, drag out arguments about like which one was better.
Oh yeah, I know.
Oh, yeah,
I'm going to be doing that on Film Threat today. That's what we're talking about. Is that very topic?
Good. It's a good topic to have, and it's a good topic to talk about.
Yeah,
it is. You know, like I'm not concerned with what other channels say or do. That's their business, whatever. But I'm not going to be pushing what I would consider to be a false narrative. Now, there are some people who don't like what I have to say, and that's fine. You don't have to like it, but you have to accept that I'm being honest. That's all. It's not about agreement in all cases. You know, Mahler and the boys really like The Last of Us 2. I couldn't give two fucks about that show. I got to the third episode. I'm like, I'll watch the fourth and never did because I didn't care. I just don't care about post-apocalyptic zombie stories. I think Walking Dead was 1,000 times better in the early days than Last of Us. Maybe I'll be outvoted on that, but I know where Last of Us is going to. No thanks. No fucking thanks. Yeah. But they liked it, and that's cool. That's fine. We can still be friends. It's all right. Mahler didn't like John Wick 4 that much. I fucking loved it.
That was
the best movie I've seen this year.
Surprising to me that he did not like it when I heard him say that. So
that's Mahler. I also like the Snyder cut. So I mean, like, there you go.
Yeah,
I've watched it like 5 times. So, you know, nobody's perfect. Duke Devil 95 has gifted 10 Nerdrotic memberships for $50. I talked about on the last live stream. Mark with a C made a great video talking about Picard season 3, and he's absolutely right. This is never about going after fans who like shit. I try very hard. Listen, I'm not going to trust anybody's opinion who likes Star Trek Discovery on anything. But if you like it, that doesn't bother me at all. But I have every right to say I hate it. I'm not trying to get other channels taken down for liking Star Trek Discovery. I'm not making fucking videos. Make all you want. Like, make a compelling argument why I am wrong about Star Trek Discovery. I'd love to see it. The Grizzly for $20. Sorry, I have to wholeheartedly disagree with you. That's okay. I don't want Disney to touch anything with World War II. That way, things are current year. Okay, good point. Okay, good point. Mecha Drumfler time traveled to 2016 and stole my election with Yahtzee Putin Russia. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I guess we say if we want to see that, it would be with a completely different Disney or Marvel being sold to somebody else, or maybe somebody turns CERN back on and we get into another timeline. I guess we got to put that caveat in there, Grizzly. No, I don't want them touching anything right now. Nothing. People go like, what do you want to see adapted next? Nothing. Not in this timeline. I would love to see Elric properly adapted. I would love it. It would blow your fucking mind. It would blow my mind. It would be great. I'd like to see a really rockin' Conan, but not in this timeline. The Grizzly for $20. Warhammer beats both at their peak, man. Even Warhammer prequel to Horus Harris, which is over 170 books about the two fractions, is good. You should watch some of the trailers on Warhammer's YouTube channel. That's 170 books, Grizzly.
It's a lot.
That's a lot, buddy.
There's a lot of time to just.
Can we break it to 6? Can we just get 6 books that I have to read and like a couple of movies or whatever, like whatever, or like audio dramas or something? Can we get it down to that? I don't have time for 170 books. Steve Russ for 20 British pounds. Do you think Hollywood or streaming services will still exist in 10 years? AI will probably continue to develop so rapidly that, similar to the holodeck, anyone who can create their own personal film with a few words or script. Hollywood will always be around. It's an institution that's been around for 100 years. Will it be fragmented, and will there be other Hollywoods? I think that's what we need. First, I would love to hear what Chris says about that.
Well, Tyler Perry is already building one in Atlanta, Georgia. He's already building it. And, someone brought up RRR earlier. That's actually, they have several different, it's actually not a Bollywood film. It's what they call Tollywood, because it's a different language. It's Telugu. It's not Hindi. And look, I've had myself educated by people from India who watch my channel, because when I first reviewed the film, I just assumed it was Bollywood because that was the extent of my knowledge. But I've since learned that there are 7 different major industries. I mean, over 1 billion people in India. So there's 7 major film industries there, based mostly upon the different languages. In America, we have one primary one. We have Hollywood, and then we have indies, right? And the indies, look, there's a lot of filmmaking that happens in Austin, Texas, with Robert Rodriguez and Richard Linklater, and a lot of celebrities like Austin because it's not LA, although it's kind of morphing into LA, unfortunately.
It is.
But yeah, I really think that the future is going to be other people, other industries, and other filmmakers finding a way to make things outside of Hollywood. That is inevitable. It's, as you see the collapse, there's still going to be content. People are still going to want content, right? But one of the big theories is that AI is going to really take over in a big way, that our senses have been dulled so much where we're willing to watch those shows or movies that can be where you can fold laundry and you've got the show playing in the background, that people won't even notice when AI starts writing the scripts. And already look up AI in the WGA. There are conversations now about WGA members using AI as a tool and how it can be used. I predict it will first be used in things that you won't notice at the beginning, which will be children's programming. The scripts and the animation are going to be done in AI. You'll hardly even notice. Okay. Well,
with Cal Arts art being around, I mean, not for children, for adult children, I wouldn't notice either. It'd probably be an improvement.
Yeah, exactly. Most of that stuff is so terrible. What was that
Awful.
Aquaman animated show?
God,
that stuff. It's supposed to be like a style of, look, it's terrible on purpose, and it's like, no, that's a style that's awful.
It's for untalented animators and cartoonists to get work.
Precisely.
Sorry. That is not a style. It is garbage. Well, it's like modern art. Oh God.
Yeah, I hate that.
Looney Tunes. I mean, like, those things are masterpieces. It's
You know what was better was that you probably remember those Marvel shows from the 60s with
Yeah.
some Turner,
that were like motion comics essentially, but they use Kirby art. They use actual Kirby art, and
that's what was so cool about it. They used Kirby art. And yes, the animation was limited, but the voice acting was great.
dude,
It showed you how compelling those simple stories are.
got up at 5 a.m. as a kid to watch Spider-Man, the 60s Spider-Man cartoon.
Oh, and you know that it was all rotoscoped. They just hired a gymnast to do those moves.
That's a lot what Disney did too. Let's be real. Disney was rotoscoping the shit out of stuff.
Right, but some of those stories, you were talking about the Skrulls earlier, and I still remember that issue. Was it issue 2 of the Fantastic Four with the Skrulls?
Yep.
And they end up hypnotizing the Skrulls to think that they're cows, and they're just cows. they transform into cows. They're just cows.
And then they slaughter them and eat them.
It showed you how clever
Make a Skrull burger.
Right. It showed you how clever the writing was. You gotta give. I mean, just having been at WonderCon, I discovered there is a full magazine that's just about Jack Kirby art, which I bought a stack of them.
Sell me one.
Yeah. I'll send you the name of the company that does it. I gotta show this.
You got me. The Taschen book thing is your fault, by the way.
Yeah. Oh my God, those books are so great.
I got that Frazetta one. It's beautiful.
I always wait till the stuff goes on sale because their books are not cheap.
Well, yeah, they're not, but there's different ones. There's the smaller versions, and then there's the big versions that have slip cases that are like twice, they're like a third larger. And I'm like, oh, I want those now. And it's just, I can't though.
But you look how
kill me.
Look that era, how clever the writing was. Look at any episode of the Twilight Zone from the 50s.
Dude, the Twilight Zone is still the best written show ever.
The Star Trek series from the 66 original series, that
writing was genius.
It was so well
because it was novelists were doing it and people who had experienced life. But to quickly answer your question, I agree with Chris. Things will get fragmented. One of the reasons that attracted me to Texas, aside from all the glorious freedom and the cheaper housing, I mean, relatively aside from summer when it's the surface of the sun, that doesn't bother me at all. Heat doesn't bother me at all. Is there's a lot of podcasters and content creators between Austin and the Dallas metro area. There's a shit ton of us. It's becoming a thing now. I think Joe Rogan might be attracting more comedy. I think more will be attracted to Texas. And specifically Austin for comedians because of the mothership opening up, and it won't be just like a New York and LA thing. I think that the same thing will happen to film, content creation, media is going to get torn apart. We're already destroying media, and I mean that's the royal we. That's everybody in the chat. Paulie, Latino Slant, what's up? I love you too, brother. Hey, man. Yeah, just fire up your microphone, whether it's a hobby or not. Like, I would much rather watch Paulie or Chris or Culture Casino. I've said this 1,000 times, and I don't watch any of that other garbage. I watch the people I subscribe to. I've watched the people who've supported me. I make sure to like their videos, watch them all the way through. I watch a ton of freaking live streams, a ton. And some of them have 16 people, and they're really good live streams. They're criminally under sub. They know what they're doing because they're having fun, and it's just regular fans talking. That's it, giving their unfiltered opinions on stuff, and that's all I want to hear because that's real. It's real. It's not some stupid studio and some moron reading some regurgitated wiki off of a teleprompter.
Yeah.
Yellow Flash 2 for $20. There's another great content creator. Hey, congratulations on 400,000 subscribers, buddy. Yellow Flash is a good dude. Very handsome, too. It was very nice to spend time with him in Orlando.
I've heard.
Same
I watch your show on Saturday.
That Flashcast. I think it's a great compliment. Oh, you're welcome, brother. Love you, man.
Yeah,
I think it's a great Friday Night Tights Flashcast. It's good. It's good stuff.
Yep.
I watch it every Saturday. I try not to get in the chat too much because it's his show, but I watch it every Saturday.
Yep.
Same people hating Picard season 3 ride John Favreau's member. He did nothing to help Gina and licks KK's bean.
Oh no.
Lots of hypocrites out there. I got a clip for that. Hang on. He lit. I'm just gonna. There we go.
You flipped too hard, damn it!
There's no difference, right, Flash? Like, if you want to believe Star Wars will turn around someday, believe it. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I do not. I think it's pretty clear they will never turn around. And yeah, dude, do you heard how much Indiana Jones cost, right?
Yeah, I heard that. What is it, like 350 million or something?
$350 million.
Oh,
there ain't no way that movie is making his money back unless it's as good as Raiders of the Lost Ark.
And it won't be.
And it won't be.
Nope, not a chance.
And I am a bigger Indy fan than I ever was a Star Wars fan. That trilogy is, if it wasn't for Lord of the Rings, that's the greatest trilogy. Okay. You can even say a 1A, 1B, but Lord of the Rings is better. But I freaking love Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
If she gets fired today, it's not going to change anything. Not going to change anything.
How is she still there? It's like, it's weird. There's got to be like a Twitter account, like if Kathleen Kennedy still has her job. You know what I mean? Like, I just think after that first movie and bungling the sequel trilogy, how did I don't know, just doesn't.
I'm sure there's an aggregate out there, because I never, ever underestimate the autism of the internet.
Yes.
Of how many times she's going to be fired, rumored to be fired, will be fired. I wanted her to be fired. I wanted her to be fired in 2018. I wanted her to be fired today. I do. But the situation with Picard season 3 and Star Wars are no different. They're no different at all. Bad organizations run by bad people who have gone after fans. And in those bad organizations, sometimes there's good people. That's a theme in A Song of Ice and Fire, by the way. It's good men in service of bad organizations, kings, people, and it's the conflict of the heart. That's the whole theme of Game of Thrones. So, John Favreau doesn't seem like a bad guy. I just don't think he's very good. I think if he had enough power to save Gina's job, that's just my opinion. I think he had enough power to save Gina's job. But what Kathleen Kennedy did was, gave him this Mandalorian show, and I don't know how much creative control he had, because the story group is law with Lucasfilm. The story group is law. They keep track of the lore. They're the ones who frame the plots. That's why they're called the story group. And same with Kurtzman. Kurtzman's a moron. Doesn't care about Star Trek. Has created a bunch of shit. Fucked off for one season that he didn't care about, and somebody basically snuck in and did whatever the fuck they wanted. And it contradicts so much of Kurtzman Trek, especially with like ships and other things. And people were talking about the 25% different. Dude, there was a USS New Jersey in the fucking show, dude. They had the Voyager, like the real Voyager in the show. And there's more to come. There's more to come. So they're not any different. And like what you like. And I'll like what I like. That's all. The Grizzly for $20. Here's the thing about Warhammer. Most of the stories are self-contained. That's good. You don't need to read every book to understand. It's just an option. There are people who are in like one faction and only read books with that faction focus. That's cool. Is that what Henry's like? I'm not sure. Hey, could you pull up the Ike Perlmutter article, please? The Iron Omega for $20. Thank you. Hail all. Have you guys checked out Saria from the Dead Sound YouTube channel? It has major Primal vibes, and it's totally user created. Give it a look. It looks amazing. I'll check it out. Primal is cool. I'm not sure like this has no impact on Marvel, by the way. I think this is just as you said, Chris, they're just cutting costs at this point.
Yeah. I mean, his position was just sort of a, yeah, you can still be involved position anyways. I mean,
big news is that second word right there that I did not notice. Marvel is no longer okay. So maybe you can explain it better than me, but Disney treats their companies basically autonomously. They let other people run them for the most part.
Right.
Lucasfilm was run by Kathleen Kennedy. Pixar was run by John Lasseter. And up until very recently, Marvel was its own studios. I did not read this part. Disney absorbs Marvel Entertainment amid layoffs, dismisses chairman Ike Perlmutter. So Marvel, it is Disney Marvel now. It is just Disney.
Yeah.
And that might have some serious effects on the comic books. I'll have to read this.
Well, they're looking at my understanding is a lot of the layoffs are jobs that are repetitive in organization is so huge, right? There's a lot of jobs where, and especially when it comes to logistics and scheduling and this, like, so it's going to be for the people that remain, their workload is going to be increased. So, but that's a very interesting absorbs. How many of the X-Men have powers where they can absorb?
Yeah, well,
what was that one?
There's the absorbing man too, and that's not an X-Men.
Right. What was the one mutant that could just steal the powers that you had? And then
Rogue.
God, I love that one X-Men cover. I think it was issue 29, where he's got like, God, I can't think of the name of the villain.
Mimic?
Might have been Mimic. Yeah. That was great.
Okay.
Anyway, sorry.
Or Dan Buckley is still at Marvel Comics, right? I just saw his name there. I'm like, they didn't let Dan Buckley go. Disney's cost-cutting measures have, God dang it, I got to add this to my video. Harry, how long are you in the video? I'll just put it at the end. I'll put it at the end, buddy.
Oh, no, Barry.
Disney's cost-cutting measures have reached to the top echelons of the company. Ike Perlmutter, chairman of Marvel Entertainment, has been laid off as his division, which is separate from Marvel Studios, is absorbed into other units of Disney. And you got to wonder about Lucasfilm now. You have to wonder if they're absorbing Marvel, which much to George Lucas's chagrin had greater potential. Hey, thanks, buddy. I love you, man. Sorry. And I'll make it small.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. Oh no. So yeah. Oh God. That's crazy. They absorbed Marvel. This is big news, folks. This is actually big news. This is very un-Disney-like, very un-Iger-like. Which is separate from Marvel Studios, is absorbed into the units of Disney. Oh, I hate being absorbed into a unit. Oh my God. Along with Perlmutter, Marvel Entertainment's co-president Rob Steffens and chief counsel John Turtson were also dismissed. Dan Buckley, president of division, is staying and will report to Marvel Studios chief Kevin Feige. So all these people are getting fired. Kevin Feige's still there. Who's responsible for the woes at Disney right now? The guy who's still there.
Right.
Kevin Feige. Disney spokesperson confirmed the departures to Variety, and the 80-year-old Perlmutter, who still owns considerable share of Disney stock, was at the center of the activist inventor Nelson Peltz's months-long fight to join the Disney board. Variety reported in February that Perlmutter's backing of Peltz was due to at least part to CEO Bob Iger's decision to sever Perlmutter's control of Marvel back in 2015. Yeah, you know what? I'd be pissed too, because I'm sure there were all kinds of things promised when Marvel was sold to Disney that Iger went back on, which eventually reduced Marvel Entertainment to not much more than a consumer products and comic book publishing. Well, that's where they make the like T-shirts, toys. That's where they make the most money, or used to. But see, the things that now drive the toys, which are no longer the comic books, long. Toy Biz was awesome, by the way. Toy Biz was one of the best action figure companies ever. I have my walls covered in Toy Biz figures. They were freaking great. Those little 4-year-old Chinese girls did a great job painting Iron Man. Okay.
Tiny fingers.
Yeah. Peltz ended the proxy battle in February after Iger announced the plan to reduce costs by $5.5 billion, which includes reducing the workforce by 7,000 employees, which is nothing, drop in the bucket, as well as expected return of the dividend payment for shareholders by the end of 2023, which they haven't been getting paid. So, and here's all the people who are getting cut. CW, not applicable, but they just laid off, I believe, 9,000, Amazon 9,000, NPR 10% of their workforce. Why don't they just add a 0 to NPR? I'm fine with propaganda, state-run bullshit being completely gone. I don't want to fucking pay for that garbage. They went after gamers hard. Fuck NPR. Meta, 10,000 people. Oh, Facebook. Yeah, that Meta thing turned out to be a big boon, didn't it? Not so much. Sirius XM, they should fire Howard Stern because he's a fucking cuck. I don't know who that is. Showtime, 120. News Corp, Fox, 1,200 people. Yahoo, 20%. Yahoo's still around? Okay. Disney, 7,000. PayPal, 2,000. Well, PayPal, maybe you shouldn't get in political kerfuffles. Dot dash, I don't even know. Washington Post, 20. Is Taylor Lorenz one of them? If Taylor Lorenz is one of them, I am good.
Worth it.
Reddit, not applicable. Adweek, Spotify, 600. I believe somebody, not a CEO, but like a CFO, stepped down. Vox Media, that just needs to go. Alphabet, that's our company. That's the one that pays me. 1,200. Microsoft, 10,000. The decision to dismiss Perlmutter as part of Disney's cost-cutting measure is ironic, considering the executive's infamous reputation for pinching pennies, from holding Marvel Studios press junkets in Disney's offices to forcing employees to reuse office supplies. I'm sorry. What, you use a pen once, you throw it away? Yeah, reuse the fucking pen. Perlmutter sold Marvel to Disney in 2009 for $4 billion, a figure that the company has recouped several times over. Marvel Studios became the box office behemoth that dominated the industry in the 2010s. I love that line. It dominated the industry in the 2010s. He took, but we know that was before they sold it to Disney. He first took control of Marvel Entertainment in the 1990s when the comic book publisher was in the throes of bankruptcy, and it was folded into Toy Biz, the toy company co-run Perlmutter with Avi Arad. So Kevin Feige could clip the knees of the guy who owned Marvel, fucked over the producer who trained him, Avi Arad, but couldn't lift a finger to save Victoria Alonso. Interesting. Interesting. It's almost like he's like every other Hollywood producer. And that's another way Hollywood rolls too, and is that, oh yeah, you can do that thing. It's a little unusual, but you can do that thing. And then the minute they want to get rid of you, they'll use that thing against you and not think twice about it. They will plunge a dagger between your shoulder blades and not think twice about it.
Yep. She did not follow the letter of the contract.
That they had to know, Chris. Like, your president is working on this little independent film. Like, I don't see a problem with it. Argentina, 1985. Who gives a shit? I have more of a problem with her. I'm gonna miss her though. I'm gonna miss her. Her freaking red carpets were golden.
You think she's going away? I don't think she's going away. I think she's
not going away.
She'll end up being the head of GLAAD. Just watch.
Oh yeah,
something like that. She'll be in some position where she can use her, because she's certainly proven that she is willing to put the cause above the company. And people who do that, first of all, they just should not be working for your company. but she's shown that she's been willing to do that. And so I think she'll be a hero. I think she lands somewhere fairly substantial.
Where she belongs, at GLAAD, to be an activist, because that's what she was. And that's why you don't hire these people. People. What do I mean by these people? Activists who don't give a shit about the superheroes or Marvel or the stories or entertainment. They're constantly whinging about a cause that they really, you know what? Go celebrate Pride in Saudi Arabia. Go to the Pride parade there in June. Like, real safe here. You're fine here.
Yeah.
Go to Yemen. Go to fucking Yemen and celebrate Pride. Anthony Johnson, thank you for the $20. You know, guess what? Disney has been editing stuff for other countries under her watch that she had to approve. So I for her to pull out one instance that might have happened, but what about all the time she was like, fine? Because she had to. Because Disney doesn't give a fuck. They don't care. They thanked a concentration camp in China in their credits for a fucking movie. Gary, did you hear about the Iger Kennedy meeting? Well, maybe they're about to absorb Lucasfilm too. We'll see.
Oh, what? What?
It's a rumor. It's a rumor.
Really?
I don't put much stock in rumors. I don't think Iger was yelling at Kennedy. For one, Iger is not the yelling type. The guy fucking irons his jeans. You think he yells at people? Come on.
Yeah.
And it's still Kathleen Kennedy. Kathleen Kennedy is writing off of her success from 20 years ago. And she's a terrible leader. She's an awful leader. But somebody had to approve $300 million for Indiana Jones, or $350 million. So yeah, she's survived this far. Like, what is Indiana Jones going to be the thing that ends her career? It wasn't The Last Jedi. Really? It wasn't Rise of Skywalker. It wasn't Obi-Wan Kenobi. It wasn't canceling the EU. It wasn't Star Wars toy sales going in the fucking toilet. It's Indiana Jones. Okay. You know, maybe. I don't know. But I haven't been privy to any meetings, but in Hollywood. But I've been meetings at Technicolor, and well, I've seen plenty of people cry due to work pressures. I've never seen anybody screaming at anybody or yelling. Hey Gary, is X-Ray Girl your diversity hire? Yes. Or did she agree to work for you so she can claim you as her diversity boss, vision impaired old man? Yes.
Yes.
Best time is now for $9.99. Yes. She's just waiting to inherit the empire. She's waiting for me to croak. That's all she's doing. She's biding her time like all women do.
I don't think I can replace Gary. Okay. I'm just saying.
Sure you can.
But it's so weird hearing all this. It's definitely like Game of Thrones or Succession. All this like executive, plotting. And who knows, like maybe Kevin Feige just let her do that Argentina 1985 film, knowing it's something he could have in his back pocket in case he ever wanted to get rid of her. You broke company policy.
Yeah.
I bet it was that.
All the articles I read, it pretty much covered all the bases. And they really, they even Variety managed to sneak in. It was said she was difficult to work with. And I'm like,
you think?
I wonder if that had something to do with it. And calling out her CEO and working on Argentina and overseeing 17 projects that all required massive visual effects. And they were all varying degrees of shit. I wonder if that had something to do with it too. So it was admitted again. Shang-Chi didn't make money. It was admitted in the trades. Go to the Ant-Man 3 What Went Wrong article from Variety. It's admitted in there. Something we all knew. Something I knew. Eternals didn't make money either. Black Widow didn't make money either. And Ant-Man won't. So that is what? That's half of phase 4 were flops, because not making money is a flop. They're going to spin it like, well, it wasn't profitable, then it flopped. You didn't make your money back? Oh, you lost money? That's a flop. That's the very definition of a flop. Well, there's this creative account. No, fucking you didn't make any money. Stop lying. Shake from Hunger Team. What's up, Shake? For 1414. Chris, where can I watch your doc when it's released? And are you going to have hard copies for sale?
Yes. We're doing the premiere on Friday, April 21st at the Frida Cinema. You can go to thefridacinema.org for tickets. We're doing multiple shows. On I believe it's a Monday, April 24th, which is the 21st anniversary of G4 TV. The movie will be available on Vimeo. I can't promise it'll be that day available, but it will also be on, Vudu, Amazon Prime, all that stuff. And then there will be a Blu-ray. It will be out in July during San Diego Comic-Con. I'm trying to find a place I can do like a signing or sell Blu-rays. The Blu-ray is going to have a ton of stuff on it, but I was just yesterday working on this new sort of full trailer we're going to release the week before the movie comes out. Oh my God, this trailer. I cannot wait for you to see the trailer and the final movie.
I can't wait either.
So, April 24th, you'll hear about it. We're sort of saving our promotion to the week before, and then you'll hear a lot about it. So, but thank you for asking, because that was just an excuse to plug it. So thank you.
No, plug Attack of the Doc a lot here.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
I can't wait to get my Blu-ray. You can make Blu-rays? Okay, Blu-ray. I can't wait to get my Blu-ray and put it in my collection.
Yeah, you're going to love it, man.
Victoria Alonso's vag for $10. Vicky will say she has no regrets. I, on the other hand, have had enough for both of us.
Oh my God.
Oh. Hey, Chris.
Huh.
You can go. You sick boy.
What? Oh, no, I'll stick around.
Okay.
I'm just like working on stuff in the background.
Yeah.
But I appreciate Gary understanding. It's this interesting conversation too. I love all this stuff with God. But see, even if I don't think that these layoffs are going to fix anything, are they going to make Disney more money? Sure. Are budgets going to be slashed? Yes. You're not going to see Marvel movies with $300 million budgets anymore, but I don't think the movies themselves will be any better. That's just look at the history, right?
Yeah.
Look what's coming.
Michael Waldron just got re-upped. Jeff Loveness is still writing Kang Dynasty. We don't know what's going to happen with Jonathan Majors. I'm not going to talk much on it because, I just don't know what happened. And how many times we heard these things where, especially since the girlfriend recanted and he might have been defending himself. We got to see a video, and he deserves his day in court, and the truth will set everybody free. I hope it's just an overblown argument and everybody's fine. That's all I care about. But
I agree with you, Gary. Jonathan Majors, until the facts come out, there have been way too many stories that have been blown out of proportion. They turn out to be total BS. So, yeah, let's wait.
But it's that doesn't make it any less of a black eye for Disney. They did not need the bad news. Victoria Alonso's vag for $5 more says, burn, baby, burn. Disney Inferno. We were singing that before we went live. Burn, baby, burn. When this moves over to Nerdrotic Live, we're going to call it Disney Inferno because I'm enjoying it. I am enjoying the Schadenfreude with no regrets at all. Whiffed for 11 Canadian pesos. With Victoria Alonso maybe suing Disney, won't this just make her persona non grata and ruin her career? With most major studios, yeah, but if she can probably head Glad at this point, which would give her a lot of power in Hollywood.
Yeah,
a lot. The Gatekeepers Daimyo for $5. You mispronounced the title. It's actually called Mandalorian. It is boring. It is boring. It's plain rap Star Wars, but cringe, and it's turning into the Bo-Katan show, as we all suspected. And I love Katie Sackhoff. I freaking love her. But yeah, she's like when they're leading the attack. So it's the Mandalorian who talks it's Din Djarin, or fake Boba Fett, getting the other fake Boba Fetts to fight, but then it's Bo-Katan who leads them, and then the two girl bosses need to talk at the end. It's like, oh god, it's I mean, like Lucasfilm is MCU too. It is. Dan 999. Can a live action Spider-Man 2099 movie work as an Elseworld story? Yes. And do you think audiences would love Miguel O'Hara as a contemporary to Tom Holland's Spidey? Yeah, I think Miguel O'Hara works because it's way in the future and you can do like a cyberpunk Spider-Man, and that's kind of what the video games were. The video games were rad. They did with Spider-Man 2099. And I like the comic. I did. My favorite's Ghost Rider 2099, though. I like to see that. Eddie from Outer, but not in this era, in another world. Eddie from Outer Space for £5 Hi, panel. What are your thoughts on the latest rumors by Midnight's Edge regarding Terry Matalas and the extension of Kurtzman's contract? Is it bad for Trek? Kurtzman's contract was not extended.
Whoa.
It was not extended. Well, they're saying it was recently extended. His contract was extended in 2021 to 2026. Here, I'll pull up the article. Alex Kurtzman extended to 2026. So nothing has changed from this. Like it never has. So I don't know the context of it. I watched the video, but this was an article from August 1st, 2021. So he already was extended. And this is before Picard season 2 came out. Okay. So, and he's extended out to 2026. That never changed. Don't know what else to say beyond that. But what was the rest of the question there? So as far as Terry Matalas getting a spinoff, it's a, Strange New Worlds came from Pike being popular in that god awful piece of shit, fucking horrible Star Trek Discovery piece of shit. It's season 2 was a number 2. It was a number 2. But they so Akiva Goldsman is in charge of Strange New Worlds, which just got 2 more seasons, which I mean that it's been made official, but that was the plan for over a year. There will be another announcement that was in the works before any of this, before Picard season 3 came out. If Terry Matalas is given complete control, I am all for it. But that we just don't know. I guess they're talking about Star Trek Legacy. Is that what they're going to call it? You got to watch the rest of the series. But yeah, he's Alex Kurtzman has been under contract, was never in danger of losing his contract, and will be under contract till 2026. I wish I could tell you different. And Picard season 3 has little to nothing to do with it. Man, 1999. I got into Warhammer 40K lore after The Force Awakens. It is so good adult content. Oh, that's good. Yeah, it's a bummer. Like, when I saw that they re-upped Kurtzman, that was it. It's like, it's dead. It's dead. And that's still my feeling, by the way. Star Trek is dead. We just got like an anomaly. We got something good. Until I see different, that's what I think. Alejandro Montoya Martin for $5. Couldn't agree with Morial. Time to invest in indie film. Cheers. Their great live stream. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Sheep Sidian. Sheep. $50. It was great talking to you. Howdy, Gandalf. It's me, Aragorn. I want to shame it.
Oh my God.
The midweek hump. Feel free to show up if you can. It's cool if you don't. Nonetheless, Hollywood is burning and I'm enjoying it. Hail. Hail. Yeah. Dude, Star Trek Picard is an anomaly. Again, it is a dessert that you never thought you'd get again, that you will not get again. And I said it in my very first review. Alex Kurtzman will take full credit for it and run off and continue to make shit. That's what he does. That's what the man does. Now, if somebody had half a brain at Paramount, they'd put Terry Metalis in charge and get rid of Alex Kurtzman and everybody involved with Secret Hideout. But they don't. Somebody should talk to Taylor Sheridan. That's the guy with the juice at Paramount. Because that's what's paying for everything. Tulsa King, 1883, 1923, Yellowstone. Matt McClure for $5. Down with Campia, up with Nerdrotic. Give us non-woke punditry. Absolutely. Cheers, Matt. Thanks, brother.
Oh, you mentioned Gandalf, Gary. Two quick asides.
Yeah.
That are kind of random. So this extended behind the scenes look at Beau is Afraid, which is Ari Aster's new movie. He did Midsummer. They're describing it as it's like a Jewish Lord of the Rings. It's literally about the title character Beau, played by Joaquin Phoenix, going to visit his mom. That's the whole thing. He's on a journey to go visit his mom. But if you watch this, it just showed up this morning. I watched this video. It looks bizarre. And then also, I've gotten hooked on these videos now where it's Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin, Qui-Gon Jinn, and Gandalf watching The Mandalorian. Have you seen these videos?
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude, I am dying. I mean, they go on, and the guy who does Obi-Wan's voice is so good. The guy who does Gandalf's voice, and they're all just sort of sitting around this cheesy apartment, like lazy, like watching The Mandalorian and just ripping on it. And it's so
that's what we like.
Yeah.
Before we did this, that's what I did with my friends. Like going back to the 90s, my friend Jay, I hung out with Jay Trussell and Doug Johnson, and Doug shows up in the chat. I know Jay watches and love you guys. Those were my boys. And we saw everything and ripped the fucking shit out of it at Doug's apartment or at the theater. I mean, that's where I hone these skills, is with those two guys. We're just fucking shredding things or loving it, But yeah.
those videos are so good. I mean, I just discovered them last week. So I've gone down a rabbit hole of watching like a bunch of them, and they're just the writing on those videos is better than the writing on The Mandalorian.
I know. Oh, God, dude.
It's hilarious.
Dude, I'm doing a video. Like I'm like, this is bad enough for me to do a video, because I'm just going to isolate some lines that are just unbelievable. I was like, somebody wrote this. This made it past like a lot of people and made it to screen. And I'm not kidding. Saturday morning cartoons have more complex dialogue.
Well, it feels like a cartoon. I mean, it feels like
it does. It's always felt like that, though, from day one.
But this season in particular feels like this is just a cartoon, because it feels like the people writing it doesn't matter. The consequences, nothing matters. Nothing. It feels like
Star Wars fans will show up to the trough and eat our slop, and that's their fucking attitude. I don't feel that way, by the way.
Right. It definitely feels like, and no disrespect, there have been some great, like the Genndy Tartakovsky Clone Wars. I thought was really good.
That's honestly the best post original.
Yeah.
Original trilogy Star Wars. I freaking love those. I still have my DVDs. That's like one of the few Star Wars things I still have. Those are great. And George shit canned them for that other one.
Yeah.
Block Riders for $20 says the Star Wars, The Bad Batch, season 2, episodes 15 and 16 are excellent. Wow, they just came out. Heads up, Dave Filoni should be running all of Lucasfilm. I disagree, but if you enjoyed it, Block Riders, awesome. I care less about the Clone Wars world or anything. My love for Star Wars was extinguished the day The Last Jedi came out. It was greatly and grievously injured before that with the death of Han Solo, but it was just absolutely extinguished. I've told this story before. Back in San Francisco, I had a wall right here, and on that wall was all my original Star Wars figures. I removed them from the wall and just gave them to, back then I had like 20 people signed up for my Patreon, and I just gave it to them. Like, here, thanks for signing up for my Patreon. Here's one of my Star Wars action figures. I have one just because I forgot about it, and it's a Jawa, and it's up here somewhere.
Oh, it's funny. For me, it was Han Solo, his death, and then no Luke. Luke appearing at the end of Force Awakens, and I just was like, and what was weird was being around a bunch of people who loved it and thought it was great and couldn't wait for the next one, and I'm like, I don't know, I don't like what happened in this. So yeah.
Marcus Aurelius. Is that supposed to be
the Roman
yeah.
guy? I forgot his name.
Yeah,
Aurelius.
Life of Brian or something. Something's pinging my head on that. 25 Canadian pesos. Even if Kathleen Kennedy is fired, Star Wars is doomed. It's beyond doomed. It's dead. Star Wars is dead. They are going to have to remake the original trilogy now. They are getting so close to doing it. And I told you they were going to do that. They have to at this point. Shows that because just like my little rant of what Marvel is Spider-Man, X-Men, Captain America, Iron Man, but they're like, and Daredevil, but they're like the B team, way below Spider-Man and X-Men. Star Wars is Han, Luke, and Leia. That's it. EU fans, I love you, but you're like the hardcore fans. I'm talking to the world, to the rest of the world. Star Wars is still just Han, Luke, and Leia, Darth Vader. Star Wars is doomed. The sequel trilogy happened. Shows have led into them. This still means no Luke, Han, Leia reunion. This means the story leads to itself towards episodes 7 through 9. My favorite IP is dead. Okay, and I'm sorry. I truly am, and it sucks it's dead for me because I loved that story. I was a member of the fan club. I would have my cassette recorder or my record player playing John Williams soundtrack while I'm flying around all my fucking ships and, have my Hoth play set and all that. Like, loved it. I remember I was in the school bus. We were on our way home from junior high, and we passed by a car that was on its way to the theater that in the back of the car had a Return of the Jedi poster in it. And the bus almost fell over because some kid went, "There's a Return of the Jedi poster in the back of that car." And the whole bus went poof to one side just to get a look at that poster that was going to be put up at the theater at least a couple months ahead of Return of the Jedi. Like all of it. I remember the brilliant Star Wars radio shows, dude. I don't know if you're familiar with those, X-Ray. So George Lucas had given USC permission to produce a Star Wars radio show, which was, it's the novel. It's a longer version of the movie. They're freaking great. They're great. The audio drama, I listened to those 1,000 fucking times. Yeah, read every single Marvel comic. Read most of the Dark Horse comics. All gone now. Like tears in the rain. Jay Schwalbach for $22.12. On the Streamlabs side, what's up, Jay? How you doing, buddy? I grew up in the 60s. I truly, to this day, love the old Johnny Quest. I love Johnny Quest. Moral scientist, CIA bodyguard, inquisitive, non-whiny white kid, and adopted Indian brother. I Ready, am sad. Nothing like this can be made today. Hanna-Barbera needs respect. It does. And Johnny Quest also gave us the Venture Brothers, which is just fantastic. I sheen for $20. Gendy's Primal animation. Awesome. Yeah, dude. Tartakovsky's the GOAT. I know some of your guys are gamers. When do you think Half-Life 3 will come out? But also respect your podcasts. Have amazing day. Ice Ninja Freak. Ice Ninja Freak, all one word. It's very hard for an old man to read. Dude, I wish I could tell you, because then I could tell my son, because he is a massive Half-Life fan. My youngest just absolutely loves Half-Life. Sophie, I don't think they need to, though, right? They did, Half-Life did the VR thing. But no, I think the chat could probably answer that question much better than I. Sophie for 6 pens. Hail, saw Disney Plus was interviewing with Jeremy Renner about his accident. Don't know what you think of it. Love to see him and don't know about it, but feels wrong. I'm glad he's back. And yeah, I'm just happy he's okay. And he took his snowplow back. I wouldn't give up that snowplow. It looked expensive and fucking cool. And he was like saving his nephew. So, you know what I'd like? I'd like for him to get a proper Hawkeye series. Do you know, the Avengers is great, but you know the only time you saw the real Hawkeye was for about a minute in Endgame as Ronin. That's the real Hawkeye from the comic books. Nathan Danes for $1.99. John Wick origin story should be a video game. Yeah, I think, yeah, no prequels. I think it should end. I think this should be it, but they won't do it. And I can't say more than that. When you see the film, you'll let me know. All favor for $5. It's late, so don't know if you covered it, but Perlmutter is out as well. Craziness. They earned it. Yeah. Perlmutter's out. Honestly, he was clipped. His wings were clipped. He was only really in charge of merchandising and comic book publishing, which he obviously didn't give a fuck about considering the state of Marvel. But that's not entirely true, because I read an article and I reread it yesterday that Kevin Feige is in charge of Marvel Comics publishing. So Perlmutter was sitting in an office doing nothing. So this is just a symbolic move. It's a scalp. And it makes it look less bad because they fired a Trump supporter, and after firing a gay Latina. Okay. Ministry of Wrong Thing for $9.99. How did Shang-Chi get 90% ratings while losing money? Because those ratings are bullshit. Panthera 1111 for $5. There was a time when Steve Rogers was called the Patriot, and there was another person who was using the Captain America monitor. Yeah, John Walker. And that's not the only time that's happened, but it always goes back to Steve Rogers, and nobody thought for 1 minute that he still wasn't Cap. You can't pass them. There's certain mantles that cannot be passed. It's too ingrained in the culture. Miles Morales is Miles Morales. He will always be Miles Morales. He will never be Spider-Man. They should give him a different name. It'd be more interesting.
I heard something about that Spider-Verse movie.
Oh, well, they're going to have pregnant Spider-Woman in it?
I don't know if I want to say. It's unconfirmed. But I don't know. All I can say, unconfirmed. We'll see. But it's something to do. It could be considered spoilery. I can tell you in the chat and tell me if. Okay.
Tell me in the chat.
Yeah.
Tell me in the chat. I'll read the super chat. Star Wars is dead. You don't touch my Old Republic stuff. Just replay KOTOR and playing KOTOR 2. What great stories. Stay away from it, Disney. Bad. Down. says Sith Cake for $10. I agree. Brad Best for $5.50. I started watching the OG Star Trek for the first time. It's amazing. Captain Pike actor was awesome. Sucks he was only in one episode. Breath of fresh air. Yeah, and he died very young, by the way. Like 69, he died.
Did he? Oh my God.
Yeah. Are you writing it in the chat?
Yes,
like,
I am.
Private chat or
Private chat, of course.
Okay. Here we go.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, that would be spoilery.
It would be spoilery.
I like the first one as a cartoon. I don't take Miles very seriously. He's never really taken off in the comic books. People love the idea of him, but there's no storylines to name or anything like that. Maybe if Miles, has 1,000 comics printed over 60 years that are constant bestsellers, then we could talk about him replacing Spider-Man.
Right.
But until then, he should have been Spider-Boy. He should have been his sidekick. He should have been his Robin.
That would be cute.
Yeah, and have him a different, they've broken so many things about Spider-Man was never supposed to be in the Avengers. They put him in the Avengers. I fucking didn't like that. But if you wanted to give him somebody to mentor, I think that would have been really good.
Yeah.
And do it for a long time. Still be doing it. Do it for 20 years. Have him mentor Miles. And give him a different name. Hey all, have you all seen Devotion? Genuinely good war movie that was true to the history with great practical action on par with Top Gun for all the touting of majors as the next big thing. I'm surprised it wasn't promoted hardly and bombed. Shame. I haven't seen it. Matt317, thank you for the 1253. Check it out. What's that? Was it, how do you pronounce? Did you see the trailer for the Norwegian John Wick, the gold miner? Sisu. That looks fucking dope. That looks good.
I just got invited to a screening of it. I'll talk about it with you on April 12th.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
That trailer was awesome. Yeah.
Don't villainize others for liking things bad form, says Fat Steven Seagal for 220. Yeah, it's not about villainizing fans. Remember? We're fans. We're just all fans. So we're here for each other. It's not about villainizing fans. Now, I have no problem with being a counterpuncher. If somebody comes at you on Twitter, fair game. But what I do here is just I speak my opinion. We're all about the fellowship. The fellowship doesn't 100% agree. I can't tell you how many emails. Most of them say, I don't agree with you on everything. Good. Don't. But yeah, this isn't about going after fans, and that counts people like R&B. Because I vehemently disagree with a bunch of his Marvel stuff, and he disagrees with me on a bunch of stuff too. But I love the guy. He's a nice guy. Brian Hurley, and I don't think for 1 second that he's a rare breed. You get what you get with him. He is not a liar. Brian Hurley for $10. I ended up humming the theme song for FNT all day yesterday. Oh, that's nice. I'll tell that to Dan. To the point I was annoyed with myself, and this has still ended up being the first video I clicked today. Damn you, Gary. Thanks, Brian. Thanks, Brian. Depths Walker for £5 British. STD season 1 on its own in a vacuum was perfectly fine. Mid-tier sci-fi, however it exists in Star Trek canon, is what was off by miles and failed on many levels. Yeah, if they had just I didn't like it. I disagree with that, but if they'd said this is in the Kelvin universe, all their problems will be gone. We could still say it's bad, but it's not fucking with canon. It's making its own. And you would have been free to make your own. Do whatever the hell you want. but they had to connect it to Star Trek. They needed to. Aaron Pipes for $10. The old days. You could argue whether Star Wars or Star Trek was better. Now you can only argue on whether Star Wars or Star Trek is worse, or which creatives are dumber or just plain evil. Christian Wolf for $5, not wrong. Choosing between Star Trek and Star Wars is like picking your favorite kid. Although I will say one of those kids is behaving better than the other of late. Yeah. It depends on the day with your kids. Darius White for $50. Thank you, Darius. Disney, Star Wars, nothing but a corporate IP. It is but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets in our on stage and then is heard no more. It's a tale told by idiots, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Beautiful, beautiful. Well done. Read the Eisenhorn trilogy, crime drama in the 40K universe. Good place to start, but I promise it ain't where you'd stop. It says dumb cumster. Dumb cumster for $4.99. Thank you. Mr. Butt Crack Media has gifted 5 Nerdrotic memberships, $25. Thank you, sir. Polly, our boy Polly, how was your panel?
It was great. We did a panel called Future Indies You Must See. We showed a lot of weird indie film trailers. And then in between, we talked about, I was really just trying to inspire the crowd to like, you guys should start looking at making your own independent films. So we kind of couch it in that. But if you just want to like watch some fun trailers, we showed the trailer to Sisu. We showed the trailer to a weird upcoming horror movie called Abruptio. And then we also showed the trailer to Cocaine Shark, which is a real movie that exists. It's actually, there's so many of these weird trailers. I actually spun off a Film Threat Trailers channel. Good. If you just like to watch weird trailers.
That's a good idea.
So yeah, just look up Film Threat Trailers. All those trailers are uploaded there. And it's one trailer a day. Sometimes we do a couple a day, but you don't want, we're not going to blast your feed with a ton of stuff. It's just check in every once in a while and watch some movie trailers that aren't, your typical mainstream stuff. Or because I've seen the Renfield trailer 50 times, it feels like the trailer's just, it's like, I get it. I'll go see the movie. So, but I'm also curious your thoughts on Dungeons and Dragons, Gary. I don't know if you had a chance to see it over the weekend, because I know they were doing those preview screenings.
No, I didn't make it because I was working.
Gotcha.
Pulling off my tickets completely.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I have no desire. I've heard enough about it. Chris, I was watching a Chris Pine interview. He's like, I didn't do any stunts. I don't, there's no action. I do no action in this movie. All I do is run.
That's not entirely true. I mean, he probably had his body double for a lot of things, but
that's what he said.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, it's just one of those things. It's like, if you saw it it's a streaming movie. It's a streaming movie that's being released theatrically. That's what it is. So.
Yeah, I was supposed to go see it Sunday and I just never did.
Yeah.
Because I was working on I was like, I'd rather work on John Wick.
Yeah.
My John Wick review.
I want to see it.
A passion project.
Yeah.
So, Latino Slant for $2 says, I effing love these two homeboys. Love you too, man. Cole for $10. On children's programming, kids do watch TV shows. Do kids watch TV shows anymore? It's all YouTube. It'll be programming on YouTube. Spark 17907 for $5.50. Warhammer books can be amazing or crap. A lot of authors making their own rules a lot of the time. Watch lore channels, good ones like Arc. Do a lot. Yeah, Arc's awesome. Horror Amarada for $10. Hail all. Wanted to shout out my midweek hump crew as we celebrate our 1-year anniversary tonight. I'd ask Gary to stop by, and I'm sure he's busy. Love the fellowship brought this together. Cheers. Congratulations. Yeah, I'm supposed to jump on Carrie Smith's show tonight.
Oh.
But I'll try, but I can't make any promises because I got to make a couple fixes to my video and work on my next one. I'm already like turning them around a little faster this week because Vegas is coming up, so I need to Fix the backlog. Nick Harrigan artwork for £2 I hope AI doesn't take off. I'll be out of job. I think it'll be a tool. We'll see. She Burger for $9.99. Nothing would make me happier than seeing Kathleen Kennedy shoot down Snyder's Star Wars pitch to be crazy successful. Oh yeah, Rebel Moon is a shot down Snyder Star Wars pitch. That's exactly what it is. We'll see. Michael Maroney for $5. Forget Warhammer. Battletech is much better. Check out Tex at Black Pants Legion on YouTube. Razorfist likes Battletech. The guy from The Place for $10. Superman 1978. The scene at the Fortress of Solitude, where an immature teen Clark spends 12 years learning from Jor-El before emerging as Superman, is incredibly well done. Such good storytelling. Could not agree more. Love it. Disney 1066 for $4.99. Working on rebuilding DVD library. Got Lord of the Rings trilogy, Mel Brooks, Tropic Thunder, and The Birdcage among others. Any recommendations? Oh my God. My physical media collection is extensive. We'll just say it's a bit extensive. You need to get all the Star Trek movies. They're in 4K now, so you need to do that immediately. Get Indiana Jones trilogy in 4K. You can get that. You need to get that right now. You need to get classics. Godfather 50th anniversary 4K. You need to get that.
I should just give you my list of movies that I'm supposed to watch. I feel like those are probably up there.
Or you can watch them when you're here in the theater with
That's
the 125-inch screen.
Let's see.
Big screen.
Conan movies, probably.
Conan?
Galaxy Quest.
Yep.
Probably should get that.
Yep.
Looking at the big ones. Predator, Aliens.
Predator, Alien.
Terminator.
I mean, these are all just like basic ones, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then you can start getting into TV shows. You need to get original series, TNG, DS9, Voyager. Those are in DVD. You can get Farscape on Blu-ray, Doctor Who, the new series. A lot of it's on Blu-ray. Classics are now being released on Blu-ray. The first one of the first Doctor finally came out. Oh no! Oh, it's third Doctor, but my first Doctor one's out there too. Yeah, there's lots of stuff. Got my Dragon Slayer 4K down there too. Digby Strawbridge. Much as I'm enjoying Disney's discomfort, not sure it will defeat the bad ideas behind the self-loathing cultural turn. Keep up the good work, Gary. Yeah, in one of my videos, I've done a lot. I've done a couple of Victoria Alonso videos on daily, aside from the clips from the live streams, and I believe in one of them, I said the good news is we're not. The bad news is they're still going to make shit. The good news is there's not going to be as much of it. That's all. IWD for $10. Seems like Hollywood is crashing across the board. HBO is supposedly removing all dragon fights from the second season of House of the Dragon and may cancel it because it doesn't perform supposedly. LOL. No, they clipped 2 episodes off of the second season, and like if you remove the dragon fights, then cancel the fucking series, because next season is dragon fights, like a lot of them. Like this whole thing is dragon fights. This isn't a traditional battle. The Civil War is fought mostly on dragonback, on the seas. There are some pitch battles, but those are generally not done by Targaryens. So, yeah, we will see. But like as money dries up, genre is gonna be hurt the most. Tabletop Joe for $5. Been rewatching The Lex. My roommate had never seen it. We need more effed up original sci-fi like that. Still good and wild as I remember. Yep, Lex is good. I have The Lex. Somebody sent it to me. I watched it. I loved it. Best name I could think of for $5. Disney is bombing worse than Gavin showed the world in his shortcomings. Yeah. Scott Fisher for $9.99. Did you guys see The Offer? No, but I want to. I heard it's very good.
Yeah,
It's about the making of The Godfather, pretty well made miniseries. I like it when companies, how cutthroat the mafia is to Hollywood, and Hollywood's is cutthroat too. The Morlock for $199. My AI, with AI, we finally get season 2 of Firefly. We don't need it. I think Firefly ended great.
I wouldn't want it to be touched by.
Serenity is a very good science fiction movie. Steve Russ for £5 British. What is the last classic franchise that has not been adapted for modern audiences? Do you think they will ever dare to touch Back to the Future? They'll not as long as Zemeckis is alive.
Yeah. That although there is a script that exists called Back to the Future. And if you look it up, they did a reading of the script and it's hysterical. It's so good. It's about a kid who's a super fan of Back to the Future, and he's going to go to like some anniversary screening of Back to the Future, and that's how his parents met. His parents met because they saw Back to the Future on a date.
Oh,
so there's a DeLorean at the screening, and he gets in the DeLorean. He goes back in time to when they're making Back to the Future, the movie. And Eric Stoltz is starring in it. He's kind of the villain. And it's about how the kid who's a fan of Back to the Future ends up like, helping them actually make the correct version of Back to the Future so his parents can meet and have him. It's super meta. It's very funny script. The script is out there. It's just called Back to the Future. And if you want to just listen to a 2-hour radio drama of reading the script, you can find it on where popular podcasts exist. It's really great, but that will never, as long as Zemeckis is alive, that will not be remade.
Yep.
So,
and that's good.
Yeah. The only way to do it would be to maybe do something like I just described, which is actually a very good script. But I think the window to make that is kind of done. But like Michael J. Fox is a character in it playing. He's Michael J. Fox. So you've got the present day version, the older version, or the younger version. It's such a great script. It's too bad that something like that, like it could have happened. Who knows if it would have been any good, but I don't know. The script is fun to read.
J-Lo flicks for it's a movie of its time too. It just wouldn't work now.
Yeah.
J-Lo flicks for $5. Wow, Gary and Chris, you got to check out the CGI animated short film Superman Awakens by Antonios and Staros. I can't pronounce that last name. Holy shit, only 4 minutes long. I'll check it out. 4 minutes is a bit long towards the end of a live stream, but I will check it out. Maybe we could play it next time. Pictish Grind for £5 British. Hi, all. Do either of you have an update on Amazon continuing Stargate with the Expanse team wanting to make it? I heard that got shot down and people were happy about it. That's all I know, but chat can correct me if I'm wrong. Ian Young for $4.99. It's Rocky 3, guys. You ain't hungry, Rock. You ain't hungry, Rock. Yep. But then he goes defeats communism in Rocky 4. Fucking Rocky 3 is great. That's my favorite.
Yeah, Rocky 3 is just from the fighting to Mr. T being a great villain, the music, everything about that movie, Rocky 3. It was very music video influenced, which was fine, but like that just pulled it all together.
Well, it turned from like serious motion picture that's going to be for Academy Awards and turned it into like blockbuster franchise, just popcorn movie.
Exactly.
When the woke, my great remember to oil the gates with the tears or blood of subversives. Cheers, lads. As Star Wars fan, I envy Star Trek's last hurrah, says Kaylee Knight for £5 British. Cheers to you. Yeah, I'm not expecting one for Doctor Who either. Okay. I know RTD's back, but it's not looking good. Travis AM for $5. Chris, do you think there will be a little The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly homepage going on with John Wick 4 with Wick, Kane, and nobody?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that works for me. They just have that dynamic of they are on opposite sides. It doesn't mean they don't like each other. They respect each other. I think there's respect there.
Primark Vulcan for $4.99. Did you see the 2020 dropped a preview of their interview with Jeremy Renner? I did. I had no idea he got injured trying to save his nephew. Yeah, he was trying to save his nephew. Fat Steven, what's up for 220? Don't forget C Lab 2021 and Harvey Birdman. Oh, Harvey Birdman. I will not forget Harvey Birdman. That was good stuff. Foresight for $5. Alan Ing said it best. Star Wars is the ex-girlfriend you just don't care about anymore. Shout out to Film Threat. He's right.
Oh, that's great.
Right.
I love Alan.
She keeps fucking calling you in all hours of the night. And you're
like me.
Yeah.
And it's to the point where your wife has to tell her to stop calling.
Oh my God.
Lee Cranmer for $5. Have either of you two heard about the Firefly remake? Will it be any good? Nope. Like it or not, Joss Whedon has to do it. And it doesn't need to be remade. It'll be dumb. And I think Joss Whedon's done in Hollywood forever. Is he still getting work, Chris? I don't think so.
I don't think he'll work in the industry again.
Yep.
Not in a corporate level. I mean, he could make an independent film. I mean, Louis C.K. went off and just made an indie movie and didn't tell anybody about it and just put it out. It was not that great, but I admire the effort. Like, I'm just going to keep doing stuff. You know, something will catch, who knows? But I think Joss Whedon is done when it comes to working for the studios or anything on a corporate level.
Oh, God.
There'd be too much of an outcry.
The last interview, he sounded crushed. Just absolutely crushed. Yeah, he did.
Wow.
Vite 7 for $5. I mean, like, the guy was a dick. He was a tyrant, but like being an asshole isn't against the law. It's just not.
That story with him and Gal Gadot was just chilling. Like, what are you? It's Gal Gadot, you know, she's.
Yep.
I don't know. It just sounds like, yeah, he was just truly just a prick.
I wish they would do something with Dark Bane trilogy. Now I rejoice that they left it alone after the garbage they have put out since 2018. Yes, Vite 7, thank you for the $5. Cliff 318 for $1.99. Miles isn't Spider-Man. His moniker, Kid Arachnid. Like I would accept that. I would absolutely accept that over.
It's a good name,
Spider-Man. But he's like that's why I love triggering people, because when I say Miles Morales is Miles Morales, I'm stating an absolute fact. And what it's a great thought experiment on Twitter, because it imprints the projection of hate from the person who reads whatever they want into it based on me, that which they know nothing about. They don't know that I was there selling Miles Morales comics when he came out. I've got a long box full of his first appearance. A long box. I owed Flash one, by the way. So I'd give Flash one of them. I was fine with the character. I always thought he should be an understudy to Spider-Man, a Robin to Spider-Man. Spider-Man's never had a Robin, you know. Instead, they did Spider Island and made like a gazillion copies of Spider-Man and watered down their greatest character because they're fucking retarded. Eric K for $2. Sisu is Finnish. Yes, it is. Did I say Norwegian? It's Finnish. Gesture sound. What's the difference? Just kidding. 616. Gary, this is for your mom fun. Oh, thanks. Hopefully see you in Colchester, ask Mel, in the most haunted hotel in September. Yeah, I know, and I want to go.
Huh? Oh, no.
Yeah. Pity you guys won't be here for Samain here in Matthew Hopkins' Witch Country. I know. I need to go there and spend like a month or two, but that's in the after YouTube times. No more username for $5. Hi, first time donation. I have a question for you, Chris. Could you give a look at a Fox in Space on YouTube? It is a fan project video, and after 6 years, they just put out episode 2. The ambience is really great. Would like to hear your thoughts on it. Thank you.
It's called A Fox in Space.
A Fox in Space.
I'll look it up right now. Yeah, I just throw things in my history and then watch it.
There you go.
Later. I'll check it out. Yeah, I love it. Fan stuff. Episode 2, I found it. It's I love stuff like that. It's, you know, the whole thing is with making anything like this a thing is consistency. You know, like I have consistently watched you on YouTube for years. I don't even remember when I started watching. I know it was got to be 2017-ish era, but if you can find a way, there's a really good documentary that's about South Park called 6 Days to Air. And it talks about the process, how they literally are like, okay, in 6 days, we have to have a show and deliver it to Comedy Central back when the show was on, was there.
Mm-hmm.
And that documentary, try to find it and watch it. It talks about what the processes they use, why they do all the voices. It's because they can just come up with a line on the same day. They don't need to bring in so they created a process that made it possible for them to do a show in 6 days. And I think that's like, I obsess over little stuff like that too. Like, what's the process? What's the process? So check that out. It's inspiring. And I will check out A Fox in Space. It's a little short film here on YouTube.
I want to see that.
Yeah.
It is amazing what they do. Two's Nose for $5. Chris, do you think Oppenheimer will do well in the international box office? I expect it to bomb in Japan.
Oh my God.
Well, there you are.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I think they're more worried about the sequel, Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
No.
His atom bomb trilogy.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
Your average patriot nerd has gifted one Nerdrotic movie. Thank you. Not applicable for $2. Gunbuster 1988, challenging because cartoon. Try. All right. Channel Starface for $5. Which will hurt most? Disney's Daredevil, Disney's Punisher, or Disney's Deadpool? God bless and take care. Deadpool or Daredevil for sure. Daredevil. Because under Ike Perlmutter and Jeff Loeb, that is the best produced Marvel thing live action that Disney presided over somewhat. Jens Anderson of the Tiari for 20 Swedish krona. Hail! Just a daily reminder to watch Stargate, Gary. I know. Next week, maybe. Man of War 665, the neighbor of the beast for 665. Do not give D&D movie your business. Weasels of the Cucked are desperate for its success after the massive fan averse OGL debacle and the start of this year. Let them burn. Hashtag boycott honor among thieves. Don't worry. I think a lot of people will be Man of War. It's not projected to do well at all. Like worse than Shazam. Remember, stay angry for $10. Would love to see a series of videos on must-see pop culture watch list. Maybe starting with the top 50 most influential movies and TV shows. That would take me a year. Might be something fun. We're doing a top 10 modern favorite modern Doctor Who episodes on Next Real BBC.
I will watch. But Gary, I gotta take off.
Dude, thanks for hanging so long.
Oh, thank you, man. I got a live stream. I'll hobble through starting at 1 on the Film Threat YouTube channel. But always fun to hang out with you and X-Ray Girl and Garrett, who's absent today. I want to say, even in spite of me being sick, I showed up. I don't know what Garrett's excuse is.
Like some stupid shit, like hanging with his family.
Oh my God.
In Orlando.
Being at Universal.
It's not.
He's having fun.
He's been written up.
All right, good. He's been written up.
I'm gonna plop a video in his lap the minute he gets off the plane.
Right. But I'll see you next week. Lots to talk about. Thanks again. Always appreciate it.
Attack of the Doc is coming out April 21st.
Heck yeah.
Hell yeah. Take care, everybody. Hail chat.
Bye, Chris.
Hail. Angry Yeti TV for $5. One, by the way, Chris Gore. Sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Gore, the great Chris Gore, nerd royalty. On the off chance that rumors are true, we should all boycott Indy 5. I want to see KK publicly shamed. We have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Yeah, the approach I take with anything from Disney is I will buy tickets to another movie and I sneak into the theater. It's just how I get around paying them money. So I will not be buying tickets to Indy 5. No, it'll be whatever other movie is out that's not Disney. Zachary Swerk, this is the last one, right? Last one for $10. I'm sure you heard about this, but we are getting a complete Venture Brothers in June. Yes, I did hear about that. Unfortunately, no word on Blu-ray release. Yeah, it's DVD, but there are Blu-rays like later seasons. Nevertheless, go Team Venture. Yes. Does that mean we're closer to getting the movie? I think it does. I think it does. All right. X-Ray Girl, what you got coming up?
I'm going to be playing Conan after this, of course, but I wanted to plug this Joe Frankenstein.
Oh, yeah. We got 3 days. We got to remember
3 days left.
Push this on Friday Night Tide.
It would be awesome if we can get this to, I don't know, 6 figures. I think we can. So we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
see.
3 days. We can.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can do it. I think we can do it. Hopefully they plug it on Tuesday night's main event. Oh, that was yesterday. It's Wednesday.
I was about to say.
Wow. Holy shit. Maybe I can get Drinker to plug it.
Oh, okay.
On I'll ask Drinker to plug it on I mean, I won't be on the show, but like I'll throw it to him and see what he says. See what happens.
Sauce.
And then but we'll plug it if it's still going. I don't know what time it ends, but if it's still going for Friday Night Tights, we'll definitely plug it. Went to a con recently, and the lines for Charlie Cox were insane. He is the only hope Disney Marvel has to make money and save face, but they got the wrong people writing it. Like, go look at the writing staff from Daredevil season 1 and 2. It's all Buffy alumni. You know, that's when Joss was still around. And by the way, people will cringe at Josh, but like Drew Goddard, these are guys who like read Frank Miller Daredevil. When I was reading Frank Miller Daredevil, they knew it. And Stephen Knight, saw John Wick 4 last night, was great, and had a member chat. I'm glad you liked it,
Matt.
Thank you.
One more.
You can write up Gatet. You can write up Garrett. Is that what you mean? That's quarter racist. It's quarter racist. Well, it's only quarter racist. Usually
it's a minority, you know, it's fine.
100% racist. So I'll jump at the fact that being quarter racist. I mean, my detractors say I'm racist, although they spend most of their time obsessively stalking a black man. It's a little weird, but I'm going to call him Gatet from now on. All right. What do I have coming up? A video. Perry's working on it right now. Then I'm right to work on another one. Friday Night Tights is Trigonometry this Friday.
Yeah.
And then, Thursday morning, I'll be reviewing Picard episode 7 sometime during the day. I don't know whenever I can get it in there. So she said. Glad my prince finally arrived with you, Gary. Thank you, Nick, by the way. Thank you. Gonna have to invent some wall space, but that's all right. And we also have some shirts that I like.
Shirts in the work.
Yes, I'm still loving Picard season 3. Now, what we have in the next 2 episodes is a lot of exposition, a lot of character work, but then it drives it home because there's 10 episodes. So you have 7 and 8, 9 and 10, 4. And I'll leave it there. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to the Modrotics. Thanks to everyone who left a super chat and donation. We will be back next Wednesday with Chris Gore. And I hope you all have a good day. Ciao.
Bye, everyone.